All right, so here we're going to sum up our inverse trig functions. So to be a function, remember we can only have one output for every input. So in this case, our function inputs, so let's list this, that for inverse trig functions, our input is the ratio, and our output is the angle. So if we think about sine, well, we know that sine has ratios between -1 and 1. When we inverse it, that becomes the domain. And the angles that we're going to get out, when we think about sine, we don't want our values to repeat. So when we think about sine, we think about these values here from -π/2 to π/2. And so we get one set of ratio values. As soon as our ratio values start to repeat, then it's not a function anymore. With cosine, we think about our one set of ratio values going from 0 to pi. And again, our domain of the inverse, so the inverse takes in the ratio -1 to 1. With tangent, we restrict the domain to be the same as sine. We go for one set of tangent, which goes from -π/2 to π/2. For our ratio values that go in, we get all of them. So these are how we have to restrict our domain, or these are the domain and range of our inverse functions. That means that this is the restricted domain of the original function. So this is the restricted domain so the non-inverse function, so sine x, cos x, tan x. All right, so that's our summary. We're going to come back in the next set of videos and look at some examples.